Yeah. Hello, everyone. Now it is good afternoon. You might be listening to all the classes so far. I understand you might be getting a little tired also, but anyways, this is what we will have to always, accept. It happens. We will have to undergo certain trials, which we generally do not want to, but this is part and parcel of life. And 13 are watching at this moment, but all 13 or 15 now, all 15 of you are welcome at this moment, but I want all of you to join. Well, before I begin my class, I let me tell you what I want from you. Just today itself I have put the assignment, and date I have given is by 20th. Actually, I was little late to give you an assignment when there was race going on of giving more of assignments. I thought of keeping myself a little away from giving a lot of work to burden you with my work. Just one worksheet I have put over there, and I wish you finish off the right today itself and send it to me. I am also late, I feel, but I have given you enough time. You try to finish off as early as possible in a day or two. Fine. Coming back to the text that we had already begun with, I told you this chapter of ours will definitely take us more time to understand, but you don't have to worry much. You are going to get, proper understanding of the whole chapter. So, page number 38, if you just see, could you? Yes. So, we had left it somewhere in the middle. I think towards the end of it, we had seen. Are you able to get it? Yes. So here, the last but one paragraph from where the last actually he was taken there in the carriage, and then his thoughts were there. He refers to the Rattrap peddler, the Rattrap seller, and he whatever he thought is given there in inverted commas, and he said, "He, why the devil did I take that fellow's money? Now I am sitting in the trap and will never get out of it." So he might have sensed it somewhere in the middle of his journey towards Manor House, that is to the house of Adla Will Manson, that he has invited all the trouble for himself just by accepting the invitation of joining them for Christmas. Now, what to do? And he has that guilty conscience behind his mind's back, and that is he had stolen money from that old man's pouch. 30 kroners he had stolen. So that is always there on his mind going on, and that is why he feels that he had made a mistake. But what to do now? Whatever it is, he was there on his way. The next day was Christmas Eve. From here you can follow. The next day was a Christmas Eve, and when the ironmaster came into the dining room for breakfast, he probably thought with satisfaction of his old regimental comrade. Meaning of comrade, I think I had told you, it is friend, a regimental one who worked there in the armed forces, whom he had run across so unexpectedly. So next was the Christmas Eve, and this fellow had gone there in the house of the ironmaster, and the ironmaster was thinking it was really so downfall for this fellow, but it's good that he is there with us. Now let us see. So at breakfast he must be waiting in the dining room. First of all, we must see to it that he gets a little flesh on his bones, he said to his daughter, who was busy at the table. And then we must see that he gets something else to do than to run around the country selling rat traps. So, next morning, the preparations are there for breakfast, and this rat trap peddler, maybe already in sleep, must not have woken up. The daughter and the father, they have a conversation. The father says, let us see to it that he gets some flesh on his body. This means that let us see that he becomes better in his condition. His physical condition appears to be that of undernourished fellow. So let him get enough time to eat enough so that he has little more flesh on his body. Meaning is he looks better, or his physical condition improves. And then we'll also see one more thing, that he doesn't go on selling the rat traps all around. Let us find out some better job for this fellow. That is what both of them they think. The daughter is busy, doing her work at the dining table. She is preparing the breakfast, and at the table, that is one preposition used that you need to understand. Next is page number 39. It is queer, that is strange, that things have gone downhill with him as badly as that. मतलब उसके साथ इतना बुरा हुआ, I had never imagined with anyone such bad thing can happen, because he had the memory of his friend in the regiment, and he considers this fellow, the rat trap seller, as his friend who was there in the regiment. So according to him, one who worked there in the regiment, for such a fellow, can this bad condition come to the extent that he would have to go, running on the streets and selling the rat trap? Is it so? Then he said, last night I did not think there was anything about him to show that he had once been an educated man. So he said, when I saw him the last night, I did not feel anything, that he must have been an educated fellow too, because somebody one who has taken an education, somebody who worked at such a place, can never live such a life. But maybe that is his bad time, that is his misfortune, that he had to do all that. So anyways, now he has come in touch with us, so we will see to it that the things improve for him. He lives a better life. He does not go around the places selling only rat traps, and he doesn't get he gets better food to eat. We'll see all to that they must be talking about. You must have patience, my little girl, said the father. As soon as he gets clean and dressed up, you will see something different. Last night he was naturally embarrassed. The manners I refer to, all the manners of vagabond, a person, one who does not live a decent life. That those manners are tramp manners. भटकने वाले टाइप के manners. The tramp manners will fall away from him with the tramp clothes. Now the father says, we will have to just have a bit of patience, and then we'll see that this man appears to be much better today in the morning as he gets himself fresh, because he had been poorly clothed, because he was in rags, because he did not clean himself well. So his manners were also like that. I'll point one more thing here importantly. I believe the kind of clothes that we wear also shapes our way of thinking. Like you wear jeans, you wear sport shoes, you wear t-shirt. So that gives you a feel of being younger. Maybe because you all are young, that is very common to you. But when you wear formal clothes, your mind is also, it shapes your mind or makes your mind think in a little formal way, in a little formal manner as you come for certain functions, and it is imposed on you that you wear formal dresses. But you give this example, or apply this example to your elderly members of house. When they wear trendy dresses, when they wear modern dresses, don't you feel even their ways also gradually start adopting the mannerisms which are quite suitable in the modern society? Yes, it does. So it works. That's what he says. If that man, Rattrap peddler, was in such rags or in such bad condition, naturally it was that he would think in such a negative way, or he would behave in such odd way. But as he gets an opportunity to live a better life, to think well, to eat well, so naturally you will find that this fellow turns out to be a better person. But we will have to have a bit of patience. So let him just get ready, come down, and we'll see all that. Just as he said this, the door opened and the stranger entered. So these two, the daughter and the ironmaster, they were there at the dining table, at the breakfast table instead, we can say. And right at that moment entered this fellow, this rat peddler. And yes, now he was truly clean and well dressed. The wallet, I told you, wallet, the meaning of wallet is probably a servant. The wallet had bathed him, it's not bathed him. It is bathe is verb, noun is bath. So that's why we use, actually we are in the habit of using the word bath. Did you have your bath? I had my bath. And but if you are using it in the form of verb, so bath, it takes e and the pronunciation becomes bathe. So the wallet gave him, a bath. So bathed him, cut his hair and shaved him, और उसका पूरा चमका दिया उसको, makeup हो गया उसका. And moreover, he was dressed in a good-looking suit of clothes or suit pehना. As you wear suit, it suits you. It suits your personality. It suits you to the occasion like that of any formal function, any marriage kind of ceremony. So for such occasion, this kind of dress is always so welcoming. Moreover, he was dressed in a good looking suit of clothes which belonged to the iron master, which was actually iron master's, and it was given to him. He wore a white shirt and a starched color and whole shoes. So maybe the little long boots, you can say, those he wore. Beautiful white color shirt he wore, and all that coat and suit that he wore. So you can imagine now he must have looked also different. Somebody, I can say, one singer recently who was a beggar, Sanu Mandalia. So how she looked earlier when we had got that viral video of hers when she would be singing, and then later on we were shown that she was given nice sari and she was there in the studio for recording. So it made her look altogether different. This is what the same way this fellow Rattrap peddler must have looked also different. But although his guest was now so well groomed, that is so well, made up, or he looked so well, having worn good dress, the ironmaster did not seem pleased. Again, ironmaster was not happy. What made him go unhappy? That we'll find out. He looked at him with puckered brow, the kind of look we throw at somebody, kind of, you can say, doubt, with that puckered brow, and it was easy to understand that when he had seen the strange fellow in the uncertain reflection from the furnace, he might have made a mistake, but that now, when he stood there in broad daylight, it was impossible to mistake him for an old acquaintance. Acquaintance is familiarity, jaan pehchan wala, है ना? We generally use this in colloquial way in Hindi, jaan pehchan wala, and the word for in English for that is acquaintance. Another word is familiarity. So at this moment could understand what he was not able to understand during the dark night. He felt that man, the Rattrap peddler, must have been his regimental friend, and that is why he had invited him to celebrate Christmas with them. And now, in the daylight, when he sees this fellow, it's quite so. 13 minutes, 13 students are watching. I'll have to report this matter to Big B. Of course, it is not correct. Okay? And I'll check the attendance. Okay? Those who remain present, at the end you put the thank you, then I'll understand you who had been watching the video throughout. Okay? So 14 now at this moment. Now this fellow came, and now the things became clear. It was not night time. Now things were quite so easy, and ultimately he was clear. He had mistaken that fellow to be his old regimental acquaintance, to be his old friend. But now it was little different. The story was entirely different, and it was exactly where we wanted to see that the things are going to take a turn. And he was getting into the trap which he was telling everyone, that the whole world is like a rat trap, some or the other bait one finds, and then many people have already fallen prey to it, and there are again there in the queue who want to become or who want to fall prey to it. So all that we come to know here. What does this mean? He thundered. Thundered is, he spoke up in an angry manner. Thundered, gusse se bola. We generally, do not use this kind of vocabulary, but I think we should. And you have to tell your parents that when you had approached your class teacher for knowing the attendance, because you were short of attendance and you did know it. So the teacher, if had expressed her anger, you can tell your parent just for the sake of using vocabulary, not for the impression to give इतना गुस्सा आया था करके. Just for the sake of vocabulary, you can say the teacher thundered at me and told me कि yours is only 50%. Now I see only 11 watching. He thundered. Who is that he? The Iron Master. What does this mean? He thundered. The stranger made no attempt to dissimulate. He saw at once that the splendor had come to an end. Splendor is glow, the shine on the face. It had come to an all of a sudden, because he felt he is being given such a nice treatment. So maybe the same thing would continue, but with a bath and when with a bit of putting on some cream or powder on the face, the things must have changed completely. And here then as uh, shouting took place by the Iron Master, the glow on the face was immediately gone. That is, his face became pale. But you can use this one. Splendor was gone. It is not my fault, sir, he said. I never pretended. Pretended was try to show something which you are not. He never pretended. I never pretended to be anything but a poor trader. And I pleaded and begged to be allowed to stay in the forge. But no harm has been done. At worst, I can put on my rags again and go away. Now, having seen the face of the Iron Master, this fellow must have understood. Now this man is in great anger, and but he made his point clear. Sir, it was not my mistake. Now, generally, you say, sir, it was not my mistake. What did I do? I was simply standing there. Oh, I just wanted a pen from him. That's it. And you came and scolded me. So you made your point clear. Like this, the Rattrap peddler also wants to make his point clear. I did not have great expectation. I simply wanted to spend my night there in the forge. Not more than that. You insisted me coming over here. I simply just followed you. But anyways, if it doesn't matter much to you, it doesn't matter much to me too. I can put on my old rags and can go away from here. अब भी कोई बिगड़ा नहीं है बोले मैं अपने पुराने कपड़े पहन लेता कल्टी कर लेता. Well, said the Iron Master. He must be in great anger. He must be saying, hesitating a little. It's not quite honest either. You must admit that. I should not be surprised if the sheriff that refers to the police, if sheriff would like to have something to say in the matter. But I just simply don't want to, leave you all alone. I would like to have the intervention of the police. Whatever you want to say, you can say this one to the police. Now, is it not a kind of trap that he was thinking earlier? It might take a trap for him. Yes, it has exactly. He had somewhere when the identity of being a regimental friend, he could have told, yeah, I'm not your regimental friend, sir. I have been just a Rattrap peddler and just want to pass my time here one night. I just want to, because I want to get a bit of warmth. But I never worked there in the regiment. He could have said so, but he wanted to dupe him. He wanted to, hide that identity of his, because he felt that by that, this man would give him some money. But that did not happen. Something else happened. He was offered the stay there in the manor house. Now, the tramp took a step forward and struck the table with his fist. गुस्से से ऐसा आके table पर, he just put his hand there on the table and then he spoke up. Now I'm going to tell you, Mr. Iron Master, how things are. He said, this whole world is nothing but a big rat trap. All the good things that are offered to you are nothing but cheese, rinds, and bits of pork set out to drag a poor fellow into trouble. And if the sheriff comes now and locks me up for this, then you, Mr. Iron Master, must remember that a day may come when you yourself may want to get a big piece of pork, and then you will get caught in the trap. Drama baji, as we say, now what I am going to tell you is, it is, you see, what I want to tell you. See, you think that you have put me in the trouble? You think that you can teach me a lesson by calling the police over here? You can call the police. Someday, they may put me there in the lockup too. But I'll tell you one thing. A day might come when you would be falling prey to something like the cheese, like the pork and all. These are the temptations for a rat. Some or the other temptation might come for you, and you would also get caught up someday in this rat trap, because this whole world is a rat trap. Some or the other things happening there, they are also just the same. Okay. The Iron Master began to laugh, like filmy kind of story, you can say. The Iron Master began to laugh. That was not so badly said, my good fellow. बहुत बढ़िया, मस्त बात की है ना, बढ़िया dialogue था. Perhaps we should let the sheriff alone on Christmas Eve, but now get out of here as fast as you can. हम तो चाहते थे कि पुलिस आ जाए करके, लेकिन अब you go away from here, कल्टी, भाग जाने का इधर से. Like that, the Iron Master said. But just as the man was opening the door, the daughter said, and he must be ready to go away from there, because he doesn't want to, get involved in any other complication. The early he goes away from there, the better for him. That's what it was, an opportunity actually, in the guise of a kind of threatening that he got. So he said, he was just about to go from there. But as he was about to open the door, the daughter said, I think he ought to stay with us today. I don't want him to go. And with that, she went and closed the door. ये बंदे ने दरवाजा खोल के कल्टी करना, उतने में the daughter said something कि I don't want this fellow to go. ये लो मतलब और लोचा, लोचा मतलब he has to stay there. If he stays there, maybe more problem. He doesn't even know he is meant to, get trapped more by the daughter's words. Maybe she wants him to stay there for some reason, and later on they may call the police again. The intervention of the police might take place. So when all that, they had thought, so naturally he must have got a bit frightened more. What in the world are you doing? Said the father. So this were the words to her father. Edla must have said to her father, and father said, what are you doing? What are you saying? This fellow is not my friend, and why should we give him this kind of treatment? He doesn't deserve it. He has been a tramp, and let him be a tramp. So we don't have to bother much about this fellow. They must have said so. What in the world are you doing? Said the father. The daughter stood there quite embarrassed and hardly knew what to answer. That morning, she had felt so happy when she thought how home-like and Christmassy these two expressions. Christmassy, like Christmas है, तो Christmas के जैसा feel करना is Christmassy. Like it is Diwali, time of Diwali, so you feel like Diwali. Like some day happens to be so beautiful for you or so enchanting, then like all the mirth of Diwali as if comes to you, so you feel like Diwali. It is here like Christmassy does he feel. She was feeling so happy, so Christmas like, and she was going to make things for the poor hungry wretch. Her poor hungry, that is a poor fellow. She could not get away from the idea all at once, and that was why she had interceded for the vagabond. Interceded मतलब बीच में पड़ना. So she felt that well, it was her feeling was quite so good since last night, and she was feeling so happy because on Christmas there was a guest with them, and somebody who must not have eaten quite good food for a long time, such kind of guest was there. That the Christians are generally very charitable kind of people, and they like this kind of mercy being shown to the people who are the poor ones. Example you can take of Mother Teresa, and any Christian I came across, they had been very so charitable person. They do not want to see any other person suffer. So just I don't mean to say that other people do not, but it is my experience. They are very so humble or very so gentle or very so divinely sort of feelings do they have. So this girl must have also felt maybe the first time this man would get such a nice treatment, and I was preparing such nice dishes, and I was so happy because it was going to be a merry Christmas spending with someone who must be hungry for a long time, for many days too. And all of a sudden, if you are getting this fellow go away from here, So I do not like it. That's what she meant to convey. So she interceded. That is, she came in between the vagabond and her father. I am thinking of this stranger here as the young girl, said the young girl, and she and walks the whole year. He walks and walks the whole year long, and there is probably not a single place in the whole country where he is welcome and can feel at home. Now you can understand the nice nature of this girl, where she said 12 likes and 12 students watching, now 13 students watching. I'll just see how you people are at the end of this class, and then what to do. Now we are so helpless, but you must understand it's really so important. So I'm thinking of this stranger here. He walks and walks the whole year long, and there is probably not a single place in the whole country where he is welcome and can feel at home. इसके बेचारे की परिस्थिति देखो, बोले पूरा दिन रात this man goes on roaming from one place to another, here, there, and do you think that he must be getting proper rest also at a place? Do you think that anybody would be welcoming him? Do you think that anybody would be giving him a treatment of a guest? No. So this man, poor man, does not have this opportunity. But my dear friend, let us see. My father, let me convince you that you must understand, we can do something for him, at least for this Christmas, maybe your opinion. Now whenever he turns, he is chased away. Now she is describing even more about his own the life of this tramp. Wherever he goes, people must be running behind him. Wherever does he go, police must be running behind him. So he never had any peaceful mind. Whenever he turns, he is chased away. Always he is afraid. No, sir, what is Pratham Gavas? Pratham Gavas, you are mentioning that you are there, and in last class I asked you question, but you were nowhere there actually to give the answer. You had already left. Good that you are there, but at this moment 13 are there, and I want to see even at the end. Hmm. So when he turns, he's chased. Wherever he turns, he is chased away. Always he is afraid of being arrested and cross-examined. I think arrested is known to you. Cross-examined is uh, asking contradictory questions in order to get the truth revealed. तुम ये थे क्या, वो थे क्या, ऐसा किया क्या, वैसा किया क्या. All such kind of things can be this. And I should uh, I should like to have I should like to have him enjoy a day of peace with us here, just one in the whole year. Now, pay attention to this important idea. How she convinced her father, or how she was trying to convince her father by telling that he doesn't get a chance to live a better life, he doesn't get a chance to sleep well, he doesn't get a chance to eat well, and at least one day, if we are there to give him an opportunity, what's wrong there? Let us give him an opportunity. Let him enjoy one day. Let him be there with us for at least one day with us. She must have said so. And the iron master mumbled something in his beard. Beard मतलब ऐसे बोले नीचे मुंह करके, putting his head down, chin down. He said something which was not clear, and so it is murmured something in his beard, and he couldn't bring himself to oppose her. मतलब he felt ultimately this girl is quite so happy, so why to disappoint her. Lakshita, people are going to mark their attendance at the end of the class by mentioning thank you sir. अच्छा ठीक है लक्षिता, I'll pay attention to it. But let us see how many thank you comes. Anyway, so we were here, and father must have felt that now he must surrender in front of a daughter. It is daughter's wish. He, she is happy in the company of this one. So why not, give him a chance and opportunity? But he was reluctant. He was not very so comfortable with that idea. It was all a mistake. It was all a mistake, of course, she continued. But anyway, I don't think we ought to chase away a human being whom we have asked to come here and to whom we have promised Christmas cheer. The girl puts forward some more, convincing arguments of hers and says, yes, we have to see to it. it was not just his mistake, it was our mistake too. And we gave him an offer, we made him come over here. So, why to trouble him now? Why to, make him run away from here? So it was our promise to give him a wonderful Christmas. So I think it is our duty that we must keep our words. That's what she continues. Now, the father's word may be, you do preach worse than a parson. Pay attention to these words. Parson is someone who a clergyman, a religious person, one who preaches in churches is a parson. A parson may be their parson, to the church they must be going, but he says that parson is already not a good, he is not good at persuasion, he does not convince well, and you are worse than that. I do not want to get convinced, but because you are insisting on it, so am I doing it. Okay. You do preach worse than a parson, said the ironmaster. I only hope you don't have to regret this, but I am doubtful, I am skeptical that anything wrong happens. I doubt something. It is possible that things may not go well, but you have to be very careful, and at the same time, it is possible that you may later on repent, you may regret for this. The young girl took the stranger by the hand, उसका हाथ पकड़ा, by the hand मतलब हाथ पकड़ के, by the hand, and led him up to the table, और उसको खाने के टेबल के पास में लेकर आई. Led him up to the table. Now sit down and eat, she said, for she could see that her father had given in. Given in is surrender. She could sense that the father was ready to surrender in front of his daughter, and he didn't have more of arguments now to present to his daughter, and that's why he had given the final say, you will have to bear the consequences, whatever it is. But that lady did not want to see more of trouble to this man, Rattrap peddler, and she was convinced it is Christmas time. So whoever it is, whether it is known or unknown, whether it is our friend or not, but it's a Christmas time, and let us give an opportunity to the poor fellow to enjoy a Christmas, a good time with us, good food to eat, good place to stay in, so good memories he might have. That was, her opinion. And she took him to the dining table and must have told him that he can eat. The man with the rat trap said not a word, did not speak up, did not, use even a single word. He only sat down and helped himself to the food. बस कुछ नहीं हुआ. He must be hungry fellow. भूखा और क्या करता. Food is there in front of him, and that too maybe more delicious food, the kind of food which he might not be getting every time. So whatever the food was there, he must have started helping himself. फटाफट उठाने का और खाने का. All that. It said no word, and he started helping. He helped himself to the food. Time after time, he looked at the young girl who had interceded for him. Why had she done it? What could be the crazy? What could the crazy idea be? Now, of course, he was eating, but his attention was very much there, caught by that, the whole episode. Before some time, father wanted me to be given to the police. This girl in between came, and she is giving me the food and all such things. So is it that something more or dangerous kind of thing is going to happen to me? So secretively, he must be looking at that girl. Is there anything that I can sense out of her gestures that he must be trying to find out? I think here we must stop, and in the next class we will continue more with this chapter. So good, bye bye for today, and I'll count all the thank yous over here.